All right, my dears, here we are in the Pacific Northwest on a Friday. It's quite rainy and gray today. We had some really incredible wind yesterday. And so just feeling into spring and how the weather can be so temperamental, I'll call it, very changing on a dime. And how much that reminds me of our thoughts and the mind and our emotions, even how they can change or turn on a dime. And I think as humans, we tend to often put more emphasis on the negative or the rain. Like even Seattle's known to rain all the time. Well, clearly it doesn't rain all the time. We have gorgeous sunny days in Seattle. But our mind will tend to cling to what we perceive as negative. And so when we're in a bad mood, it can feel as though that mood will last and that something drastic has to change in order to get us back on track. You know, all these thoughts we have as humans, our humanity. When really, thoughts and emotions, be them positive or negative, can change all the time. They just kind of flow through like the way the sky holds the weather. So I'm not sure who first said that the mind is the sky. It's not the weather, but thoughts and emotions can pass through much like the weather passes through. And we are something more than just our thoughts or our emotions. We are what holds all of that the way the sky holds the weather. So let's take a few moments here just to allow ourselves to feel earth and connection to land. And these earth bodies, the weight of our body, the form of our body, the shape of our body, the bones of our body. And also our connection to ancestry and lineage. And that's both through blood and through spiritual lineage. Chosen family. And breathe into a sensation of being here in this body in all of your identities. And as we acknowledge our ancestry, our lineage, both blood and chosen, we orient ourselves to being in our place in history, her story. And then one hand might touch the ground, feeling into this place on earth. And the First Nations people of the land we're on. We're on the land of the Coast Salish people, including the Duwamish tribe. We are on a land that has been tended to by many generations. Now we are blessed and privileged enough to create a relationship with land that can be one of reciprocity or stewardship. And then we'll allow both hands to rest gently on our lap and allow our awareness to rise from the root all the way vertebra by vertebra to the crown of the head. And take your time. And that crown energy, our connection to what we perceive as divine or the God of our own understanding, our connection to inherent dignity and a fundamental sense of worthiness and belonging. For the next few moments, feel the breath enter in through your nose and down, filling the lungs, filling the abdomen, the movement of the diaphragm. And on the exhale, feeling the belly draw in very slightly, the air comes up and out of the nose. Inhale down, exhale up. One of the things I learned yesterday in our pranayama module taught by Claudette is that as we inhale physically, we get a little bit broader and a little bit shorter. And on the exhale, we grow a little bit taller. So you might feel that as well. As you inhale, feel your rib cage broaden. Feel your energy broaden. And on the exhale, feel yourself grow tall. Feel the energy lift. And notice, is that true for you? And getting curious about your breath and how it can expand in all directions, not simply down or up, but forward and back and side to side. Claudette also shared a quote from one of her teachers that really landed for me. The breath is our first and perhaps truest life partner. Been with us from birth until we transition. And perhaps that elicits a little bit of gratitude for the breath, for this incredible life partner that has been with us all along. As your focus and curiosity remains on the movement of your breath, begin to notice the sounds around you, the sounds outside the room, perhaps distant sounds. You are a breathing being among other breathing beings, including the plants. Beginning to bring your awareness closer, listening to any sounds that might be inside the room. And are you the only breathing being in your room, or is there a plant or an animal or a human that you are a breathing being among other breathing beings? And closer still, drawing our awareness to our internal sounds, the sounds of your breath, perhaps digestion, maybe even the sound of your own heart beating. And our breath is the only system, both involuntary and voluntary. So when we bring our awareness and voluntarily extend our breath, we can create more space, more healing, more energy, more relaxation, more awareness. We'll just sit quietly with our awareness on our breath for the next few moments. Notice in this stillness, is there more ease in your curiosity around your breath? And as we begin to move, can we remind ourselves to keep that curiosity, the fullness of our breath experience, even when we feel muscular sensation or more outward energy? And as our gaze is still internal, let's bring our palms to our heart. May this practice settle our nervous systems and awaken our curiosity. And may we hold on to the deep listening that allows us to show up in the world in a good way. One Om. Ah. All right, my dears, let's flutter our eyes open. And I know some of you like to follow me on Spotify. And so we'll queue up a little bit more chill of a playlist today. Let's do Seattle Prep. I'll give you a moment to find that. We'll start on our backs. And as you come to your back, drawing your knees into your chest and doing a few circles, one direction, a few the other. And those of us ready for the playlist will push play in 3, 2, 1. Push play. Let's come to happy baby pose. Maybe you grab your ankles. Maybe you grab your feet. Maybe you rock side to side. And then the soles of the feet come together. You might interlace your fingers around the pinky toe edge sides of your feet. Or perhaps you're grabbing your ankles. Allow yourself to have some awareness at the mid-back. And allow your breath to expand in all directions. And then release that shape. You might have a pillow beside you. We're going to come onto our left side, and make sure that our knees are stacked and that they're at 90 degrees. They're not close to the chest. Yeah, they're straight up from the hips. You know? Yeah, the knees are together. We'll take our left ribs to the left. Knees are all the way together, resting. We'll take our right hand and really grab our left ribs and pull them to the left. Keeping the knees there, let's place our right hand on our low back. Noticing the natural curve of the low back. And that's what we want to keep, is that natural curve. So if the knees come too close to the belly, we'll erase this natural curve of the low back. It'll start to round. So with that natural curve, extend your arm out to the side. Likely your shoulder will be nowhere near the floor. And so you might bolster underneath that right forearm or shoulder with a pillow or whatever works. Draw your belly lightly in and up, just to acknowledge and support that we're twisting from the abdomen. We're supporting the low back with that light engagement of the core. Your head might be straight up. It might just barely look over the right shoulder, whatever feels useful for the neck. And again, it's not a neck twist. Targeting the thoracic spine, which doesn't have a ton of movement here. Yeah. The lumbar spine, even less. So for us to try to force our right shoulder down would be borrowing from another part of the body, likely the pelvis. And take 5 more breaths here. Notice the fullness or the constriction of your breath. Yeah. And then let's reach that right arm up alongside our ear. So maybe the fingertips can touch the floor, but we're stretching the arm overhead. Breathe into the entire right side body. And then cactus that right arm. And in that cactus shape, you might support the upper arm with a bolster. 5 more breaths. And then, my dears, very gently and slowly coming back onto your back, bending the knees. A pose called Constructive Rest. So the feet are a little bit wider, the knees come toward each other, they don't have to touch. But just notice what you feel. How is your right side? How is the left side? Is there any difference that you can note between the sides? And if you're using a pillow, you'll place that to your left. Come onto your right side. And the knees, remember, are at 90 degrees, so they're probably not as close to your chest as you're used to putting them. No. Take your left hand and really draw your right ribs to the right. Place your left hand on your low back. Feel the natural curve of your low back. So it should be kind of like cow. And then extending that left arm out, perhaps to a pillow. Likely it won't go very far. And just breathe. And on the exhale, draw the belly in and notice what that does when you engage the core. Where do you feel that in your body? Where does your breath move if you engage the core? Can you breathe through your nose? How much resistance does your body have to twisting at the beginning of class? Mine is dramatic. And then we'll reach that left arm alongside the ear. You might tent fingertips reaching up overhead. And really breathe into the left side body, the left lung, even the left shoulder blade. And then we'll cactus that left arm and maybe place it on a bolster or block. Again, left shoulder blade far from the floor likely. Where can your breath move here? What do you notice? And then we'll slowly come back to our backs. Bend your knees, feet flat, feet a little wider, knees toward each other. And what do you notice from side to side? How does your breath move? Get curious about the breath. And come over onto hands and knees. And so as we begin to flow, trying to keep the awareness of our breath at the forefront. Inhale into cow and exhale into cat. Inhaling cat and exhale cow. Get curious about how the breath moves differently. As you inhaling cow, where do you feel the breath? Moving to cat on the exhale. As you stay in cat for the inhale, where is the breath? Twice more. Downward facing dog. You might pedal, you might sway. We're going to bend our knees quite dramatically here and lift our sitting bones up and see if you can still feel that natural curve of your low back as your knees are bent. And then start to engage the front of the legs and notice if you straighten your legs, does that take the natural curve away from your low back? Are you starting to round there? And if so, keep your knees bent. 5 more breaths. Walk or hop lightly to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Mountain pose. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Keeping that natural curve of the low back. Look forward, walk or hop forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Rise all the way up. Mountain pose. So we'll do this for a while. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Rise up. Mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Inhale. Down dog. Walk or hop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up. Mountain pose. One more in this way. Inhale, arms up. Fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Rise up. Mountain pose. Chair pose. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Step back plank. 5 breaths. Down dog. Right leg lifts, but look back and make sure that you can see your big toes pointing down. The pinky toe edge side of your foot is really going down. The inner thigh is lifting. Inhale here. Exhale, step the foot forward. Dip the hips, lift the heart. Inhale. Straighten the leg, exhale. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Look forward, breathe in. Lift that left leg, but again, we're leading with the inner thigh. The hips are level. The pinky toe edge side of the foot is going down. The inner thigh is lifting. Halfway lift the torso. Hips should already feel level. Breathe in. Draw the knee in towards your nose. Lengthen, inhale. Draw the knee in. Lengthen, inhale. Draw the knee in. Feet together, forward fold. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Plank. 5 breaths. Down dog. Left leg lifts, lead with the inner thigh. Inhale here. Step the foot forward. Dip the hips, lift the heart. Straighten the leg, exhale. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Lift the right leg. But again, outer edge of the foot down. Inner thigh lifts. Halfway lift with the torso. Hips should already be level. Draw the knee in toward the belly. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gather it in. Lengthen. And gather it in. Feet together, heels apart, forward fold. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Lift that right leg halfway up. Keep leading with your inner thigh. Nice. Step the foot forward. Warrior one. Warrior one, reach your left arm forward. And draw your right ribs and hip back. Slightly tuck your tail, very slightly. Nice. Keep that nice curve of your low back, arms up. Shoulders down. Bend the front knee. Inhale here. Chaturanga. You could float that right leg, but keep lifting with the inner thigh. Inner thigh. Nice. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts like halfway. We're leading with that inner thigh, outer edge of the foot down. Step the foot forward. Warrior one. Right arm reaches forward. Feel the right ribs draw forward with the left ribs and hip draw back. Nice. Keeping that natural curve of your low back. Slightly tuck your tail, just slight, yeah. Arms up, shoulders down. Bend the left knee. Inhale here. Chaturanga, you could float the left leg, but again, try not to lift it too high. Yeah, outer hip down. Pinky toe edge ties the foot down, inner thigh lifts. Cobra or up dog. Down dog, 5 breaths. Hunky up. This is awesome. Does it feel at all different? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Because you really got it in your body like right away. I thought it was maybe more of a thing. Okay, good.
Feels safer to imagine that pinky side.
So if y'all can't hear her, what she's saying is that when she lifts the leg like that, she wants to keep the foot flexed because it feels safer. If you point the toes, you do tend to open. Yep. Awesome. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose. And then we'll stand up mountain. So this is Surya Namaskar B, and we'll do it several more times that way, trying to really keep the hips square, yeah, or level. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward. Long spine, inhale. Chaturanga, and also with Chaturanga, you can really barely bend your elbows, and that's okay, right? Doesn't have to be 90 degrees. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Right leg lifts, but that outer edge is down. Foot steps forward. Warrior one. So we're reaching the left arm forward. Slightly tuck the tail, keep that natural curve of the low back, really root through the pinky toe edge side of the foot. Arms up, shoulders down, heart up, bend the front knee, inhale. Chaturanga. So if you float that leg, keep it square. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Left leg lifts, foot is flat, lead with the inner thigh. Step the foot forward. Warrior one. Left arm up, right arm forward. Slight tuck of the tail. Ribs shine forward. Arms up, bend the front knee. Chaturanga. Maybe you float the leg. Maybe you hold plank. Lots of maybes. Down dog, 5 breaths. And remember in down dog to keep the knees slightly bent. Yeah. Really accentuating and protecting the natural curve of the low back. Walker hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Hold forward, exhale. Chair pose. And then stand up straight and strong. All right, 3 more. Surya beat chair pose. Hold forward. Long spine, halfway lift. Chaturanga, or hold plank. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Foot steps forward. Warrior one. Breathe in. Chaturanga or hold plank. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Left leg lifts. Step forward. Warrior one. Breathe in. Chaturanga or hold plank. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. And how do we accentuate that curve of our low back without dumping our ribs out? Ribs are drawn in, probably by bending the knees. Walk or hop. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Stand up straight and strong, mountain pose. Chair pose, inhale. Fold forward. Long spine, inhale. Chaturanga or hold plank. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Foot steps forward. Warrior one. Find that pose where your low back has its natural curve. Your ribs are drawing in. Inhale. Chaturanga or hold plank. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Left leg up. Step forward. Warrior one. Find a space where your ribs can draw in, but your low back has its natural curve. Breathe in. Chaturanga or hold plank. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Walk or hop. Halfway lift. Hold forward. Chair pose. Stand up mountain. Chair pose. Inhale. Hold forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Right leg lifts. Warrior one. Breathe in. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Left leg. Warrior one. Breathe in. Chaturanga. Or hold plank. Cobra or up dog. Rest your way. Walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose not so deep. We want that natural curve of our low back here. Stand up straight and strong. Mountain pose. Reach your right knee up. Allow your right knee to open. Tree pose. Arms reach up. Right knee lifts. Airplane, arms out to the side, chest higher than the hips. And then rotate open half moon. Land the back foot down, warrior two. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Star, inhale. Warrior two toward the back. Now, half moon, try to not touch the floor, stay up high. Airplane. Left knee lifts. Opens. Tree. mountain. Chair pose. Right arm under. Right leg over. Eagle. Right knee lifts. Warrior 3 with eagle arms. Super challenging, half moon with eagle arms. Rotate open. Warrior 2 with eagle arms. Humble warrior with eagle arms. Keep your arms, have both feet face the long edge of the mat in a forward fold. And goddess with eagle arms. You might come up first, then set your feet. Star inhale. Warrior 2 toward the front. Left arm under. Eagle arms. Humble warrior, eagle arms. And then both feet face the long edge of the mat, forward fold with eagle arms. Goddess with eagle arms. Star pose. Warrior 2 toward the front. Left arm goes under again. We're going to go to half moon with these eagle arms. Airplane. Ooh, and then that left leg comes up and over, eagle pose. Challenging. Mountain pose. You might do a little dance, shake your hips. Transitions can be super challenging. Good thing we're going to do it twice. Left knee lifts. Left knee opens. Tree. Arms reach up. Left knee lifts. Airplane. Open half moon. Warrior 2. Star pose. And goddess. Inhale, star. Warrior 2 toward the back. Half moon, stay up high. Airplane. Right knee lifts. and opens. Tree. Mountain pose. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Chair pose. Left arm under. Left leg over. Eagle. Warrior 3 leg. Eagle arms. Open eagle arm. Half moon. Warrior 2 with eagle arms. Humble warrior, eagle arm. Fold forward, feet face the long edge of the mat, eagle arms. Goddess pose, eagle arms. Inhale, star. Warrior 2 toward the front. Right arm under, eagle arms. Humble warrior, eagle arms. Hold toward the long edge of the mat, eagle arms, forward fold, wide leg. Goddess pose, eagle arms. Star pose. Warrior 2 toward the front. Once again, right arm under. Half moon with these eagle arms. Airplane with eagle arms. All the way up to eagle pose, right leg up and over. Ooh, mountain pose. You might shake. You might take your feet as wide as the edges of your mat and fold forward. You might interlace the fingers behind your back. Let your arms rinse out overhead. Would you bend your knees a little bit here? And lift your sitting bones up. And then straighten your legs. Release your hands. Halfway lift. I'm gonna say down dog your way. Chaturanga if you want it. You might just step back. Right leg lifts in that halfway. Step the foot forward. Now, back knee can go down or up. Low lunge or crescent lunge. Whichever one you choose, the back knee is bent. The hips are going to come back. And the shoulders are over the hips. So we're not leaning forward. Much more challenging in crescent lunge to bend that back knee. Think about scissoring the legs back to front. Now, Place your left hand outside the right knee. Hand, just fingertips even. Take your right hand to your low back. Make sure you feel that natural curve. Bend the back knee enough where you're getting that natural curve. And then from there, lift the heart, the sternum up. Push that right knee strongly against the hand. And then reach the right hand behind you. And it might not go directly behind you. It might be out to the left a little bit. Bring your right shoulder blade down. Draw your right ribs and lift the heart. Do you feel it? Bending that knee. And then from here, can you place the left wrist to that outer knee? And then bring the wrists together and keep the twist in the sternum. Sternum lifting. Push the knee strongly against the wrists. Maybe you scoot down the forearm. Can you still feel your low back with its natural curve? Maybe you go to the elbow, but that natural curve has to stay in the low back. I see it coming there. Yeah. Almost cow butt. Then draw your ribs in. Great, one more breath here. And then frame the front foot, whether your back knee is down or up, will straighten the front leg. So with the knee down, I have to scoot my right foot forward some, half splits. And here, wiggle side to side. And once you wiggle to the right, lengthen the spine. Imagine your heart will touch your big toe. Breathe. And then next pose is down dog, your way to get there. Left leg lifts in that halfway. Step the foot forward. Right knee can be down or up. Low lunge or crescent lunge. But if you do choose to have that right knee up, you got to bend it. And I find that challenging in crescent lunge. Yeah, so the shoulders are stacked. The hips are over the knee. There's a natural curve in the low back. Nice. Place the right palm to the outer left knee. Left palm to the low back where you feel that natural curve. Now pretty strongly push that left knee against the right hand. Draw your ribs and belly in and start to invite in the twist with the sternum. So guiding with the sternum. And then reaching that left hand behind you. Probably not going to go all the way behind you. It'll be out a little bit at more of a, I don't know, that's 90 degrees, this is 80. Keep drawing the belly in. Notice how much you have to bend the back knee to keep the natural curve of your low back. And then the pinky edge side of that right hand, you might be able to bring it to the wrist. Bring your palms together. The right wrist is outside the left knee. Left knee pushes against the wrist. Maybe it's the forearm. Maybe it's the elbow, as long as you can keep that natural curve of your low back. So you're not borrowing from any other place in the spine or the pelvis. And breathe. Should be challenging here, right? I mean, even with the back knee down, to do it correctly is challenging. And then we'll straighten that front leg and bow over it. So if you have your feet down, your knees down, it's half split. And we'll wiggle side to side. And then think about lengthening the sternum, the chest toward the big toe. And lean a little to the left. So I'm super grateful for this anatomy instructor, Adrienne. She's a structural medicine person. And she's due for a hip replacement. And I said, oh my goodness, why? And she said, yoga. And I was like, oh, fuck, probably should listen to her. Yeah, she probably knows what not to do in yoga. Yeah. What we're borrowing from, we don't even know it. And downward facing dog. So moving to pigeon pose, right knee comes forward. And then we're tucking the back toes under, and we're really taking the time to inch the left knee back. So instead of drawing the right shin or ankle up, we inch the left knee back till we start to feel a stretch in the front of the left hip. And then look right and start to inch the right hip back. So we're wiggling that right hip back as much as possible while we're still inching the left knee back. And then come to forearms or blocks. Draw the heart forward. Do you feel the right hip? Outer hip, thigh, maybe even groin, depending on where you're tight. And then bowing the head. And my dears, we'll come up in an attempt to just bring our shoulders back a little bit over our hips and continue to draw that right hip back, left hip forward, and keeping that natural curve of the low back, slightly start to tuck the tail, engage the low abdomen. Maybe some of you bend the back knee, reach back with one or both hands, grab the foot, but I find that even just hands to blocks, shoulders back is big. So breathing, noticing your breath. Can we remember our breath? Could it still feel full? And then we're probably in a pose that's less comfortable than the opening meditation. Maybe not, but for most of us, that's likely true. Well, my dears, we're gonna switch sides any way that feels good for you to do so. So I might swing my legs around, then come to down dog, whatever feels useful. And the left knee draws forward. We're really taking the time to inch the right knee back as far as you can. Then start to draw the left hip back as you're inching the right knee back. And then we'll look left. So you should experience some sensation in both the left hip and the front of the right hip. Yeah, is that true for you, body? Yeah, we're all different, so it might not be true. If that's not your truth, awesome, it's not your truth. Let's pull the heart forward. And then bow the head down. And taking a few breaths here. And how is your breath here? Where can you locate the breath? And then we'll bring our shoulders back. So that might mean you have your hands on blocks and you're just bringing your shoulders back toward your hips. Still drawing the left hip back and the right hip forward. Some of you might bend the right knee, reach back with one or both hands. Okay. This time, as we come back, you might go through down dog, but you might just be able to swing your right leg forward. And then the next place I'll invite us to is onto our backs. Okay, so here we are on our backs again. Happy baby pose. Can you notice what feels familiar from the beginning of class? What feels changed? Even slightly, if anything. Where's your breath? And then soles of the feet together. Is there some awareness of the mid back? Can we breathe there? Release and come to your right side. Stack your knees and make sure they're not too close to your chest. So they're going to look down. It's going to look like they're way too far down. So down a little more, come to me. Right there. Knees are together. Take your left hand, draw your right ribs to the right. Keep your knees how they are, and left hand goes out to the left. Could be bolstered, shoulders still not going to go to the floor. Fingertips might go to the floor. And can we keep that natural curve of the low back? Even just a little. If you wanted, you could put a block between the knees, absolutely. So what's interesting is I can see myself on camera, and I can see that my knees are at 90 degrees, but what I think is 90 degrees is this, and it's not. Yeah? So what we end up doing is we borrow from the pelvis by over flexing our hips and twists. So it's really like this. And you can see in the camera how your knees could go down. Like that. And I watch you go back, have more of a curve. So, it's there. We'll come back to center. And just constructive rest till we feel what just happened. We're noticing the difference between sides, but we're also maybe remembering if it's changed since the beginning of class. Again, for me, that change is significant. For you, that might not be true. What is your truth? And then we'll come to our left side. And we'll take our knees further away from us than we think. Drawing the left ribs with the right hand to the left. And then that right arm, we can feel that natural curve of our low back. And then make sure we're keeping that if the right arm goes out to the right. You could bolster between your knees, but you can also bolster under that right shoulder because then the knees will naturally go together. If I teeter-totter here just a little bit, if I was bolstered under the right shoulder, it's again a safer place for the SI joints for sure. And to get the twist where we want it. So those of us who are really used to putting our hands to the floor, to have our hand off the floor is kind of awkward, right, at first. It could be an invitation to let go. Imagine that concept in yoga, letting go. How many times have we heard that? What happens if you draw your belly in? And then slowly coming back to that constructive rest. Knees bent, feet wide, knees toward one another, and just notice. And now let's get, again, really curious about the breath. Where do we feel the breath move in the body? Can it be kind of cylindrical, where it moves up and down, but it also moves out to the sides. It also moves forward and back. And then you might stay like this for Shavasana today, or you might straighten your legs and put a bolster underneath your knees. Whatever allows you to really, again, keep that natural curve of your low back without kind of the low back going way away from the floor. Sometimes when I straighten my legs because of all the booty, my low back goes way away from the floor and my ribs splay. So I have to fight to draw the ribs in. But with the knees bent, there's no effort. So notice what's true for you in your body. Just take a few more moments here. Very gently. Making our way back to a seated pose. And as we do, we'll bring our palms to our heart in any shape that feels potent and powerful right now. Just a moment of gratitude for this incredible life partner. This breath that has been with us from the moment we entered into this world to the moment we leave. A blessing, what a gift. So grateful for each of you who came to the Zoom class today and anyone who is watching this later on. So much gratitude. In the spirit of peace, we say Shanti, Shalom, Salam, Amani, Malukia, Yirini, Shiakan, Jam, Pache, Paz. In the spirit of our collective healing and liberation, we say Ashe, Amin, Amen, blessed be, Kapu Aloha, Inlakach, Satnam, Namaste, Matakuyasan, Black Lives Matter.